Okay, so yesterday, Valve announced that they're going to start censoring video games based on what payment processors decide. Now, video games, in my opinion, in 2025, is very similar to publishing a book. You write a story, like George R.R. Martin wrote Game of Thrones, and then you sell it to the public. However, because these transactions happen online, well, now there's a lot of censors that tell R.R. Martin, no, you're not allowed to have incest in Game of Thrones. No, you're not allowed to have sex scenes in Game of Thrones. I don't care if the public wants that. I don't care if people demand that. You're simply not allowed. And so this creates a problem where you're normalizing thought policing. You're normalizing censorship. And this isn't done by an elected body of government. This is not done by some people that hold morality. These are credit card companies. Like, they're doing it for profit. And so a lot of people realize that, well, hold on a little bit. Like, these credit card companies that operate internationally can set morality in my nation and destroy entire subcultures. Like, for instance, certain people have raised the question, isn't the war on anime that the credit card producers are doing favoring Disney? Right? So, like, you have the woke Mickey Mouse, you got the woke Netflix, which are competing with culture that's coming from Japan. And so, like, the credit card companies can start cracking down and interfering with the free market. Like, instead of being disgusted, oh, anime is degenerate, and deciding, okay, we're going to make our own art, which is going to be elevating, it's going to be wholesome, like, no one is going to watch anime when we create our own stuff. And I do believe that America could have done this. I mean, the magic of Disney, back when they had it, would definitely embarrass anime, but they're not doing it, right? And so, as I mentioned before, a lot of people, including Asmongold, are incredibly concerned about this, right? The normalization of the idea that unelected, unaccountable, faceless payment processors can now have a very strong say in culture. And if you control the culture, you also control the political parties. Because, you know, if people believe that wokeness is just and moral, well, they're going to vote for leftist parties. And as Asmongold is saying, that payment processor monopolistic censorship is one of the biggest unchecked cartels right now. Regulation is needed to either break up these companies or guarantee a degree of service. It is not a free market when every company operates collectively. So, like, this is half of the story. Everyone knows it's like, okay, the payment processors are now delving deep into pornography, deciding what is and isn't acceptable. Like, for instance, hypnosis, they find unacceptable. If you have a succubasu that's hypnotizing the player, that is not okay. If you have, like, a normal BDSM, that's okay. Again, these are the payment processors just making decisions on what is allowed and what isn't allowed in the adult entertainment. Now, most people don't care about the adult entertainment because, you know, if it gets banned from their website, they go and they torrent or they go on social media, they find other alternatives. That's not the problem. The problem is, like, what happens when they start caring about guns? What happens when they start caring about TV shows? What happens, you know, when they're telling Netflix, it's like, okay, you want to do business with us? Like, here's the terms of service, making sure that your TV shows are compliant. Like, we need you to have ESG scores, we need you to have this and that. People are getting uncomfortable. But how is it happening, right? Like, why have the payment processors decided to step in? Well, there are a lot of organizations that people don't know about. Some of them left-leaning, others right-leaning, and they're working together behind the scenes, making pressure. These organizations are connected to politicians, and they have a lot of pull in the United States with red states, and they also have a lot of pull in Australia, in the United Kingdom. On the left, you have radical feminists. These feminists, like, for instance, an organization called Collective Shout, is the one responsible for this current predicament. You see, a couple of months ago, there was this video game called No Mercy. Now, the video game No Mercy was definitely a video game designed to shock. Like, the whole purpose of it was to be as extreme as possible in order to get those pearls clutched. If I'm not mistaken, the story was about a guy who gets divorced with his wife or some shit like that, and the purpose of the game is to sexually assault every single woman, and the game is pornographic, right? So it's kind of like an incel simulator, the feminist version. Now, if this game was made in the 90s, well, people would have treated it like GTA. It's like it's an extreme game, it's made to shock, people eye roll, they cringe, and they move the fuck on. However, now it's like a tragedy of national proportions. The United Kingdom, like, they had politicians decrying this game. In Australia, oh my goodness, people were horrified. And so the game got pulled off Steam. But like a lot of organizations noticed, well, hold on a little bit, there's a lot of grifting to be done here. So like the question is like how these organizations, how do they grift? Like what does grifting mean? Well, these organizations, like they claim they have noble purposes. Like for instance, defending children or protecting women, right? So like on the surface, it seems that they're doing good things. But there are organizations defending children that actually go against the cartels, actually have safe houses, actually try to rescue people that have been abused. We're not talking about those organizations. These organizations go after the most petty shit imaginable. Oh, someone had an advertisement. Oh, Playboy released an edition that's too spicy. Okay, sometimes they go after something genuinely degenerate, like they find out someone making child dolls or some shit. But like, there's no human beings involved usually getting hurt, right? Like they're doing these performative acts, and they never go after things that are politically incorrect. Like you will never see them in their decades of activity going after the grooming gangs in the UK. Right? It doesn't sound good, right? It's a lot easier to go after a low-hanging fruit that nobody will disagree with you, right? So now you're fighting pornography online by targeting a website like Playboy, right? Or targeting some advertisement where a chick comes out without a bikini. And they do this because they get donations. They get donations from religious people that genuinely believe in the cause, right? Like there are people that still believe pornography can be removed. Like we haven't managed to do it in 3,000 years, but maybe we can do it today. And then you also have like groups that want tax exemptions, right? Because like donating money is a tax exemption and it looks good, right? And politicians also like them because, well, if you go against them, then you're harming children. Obviously, right? Like if you don't want every single website to require robust age verification where you have to facially scan yourself or to present your government ID or to, at this point, I guess a retinal scan to fucking access social media. Like, don't laugh. These people are coming from Australia, and Australia is becoming like a mini China. They actually do have that legislation now, right? Because there's pornography on social media, and because other people have children and they're incapable of parenting, you now, like you the adult, whenever you navigate the internet, you have to show ID, right? When you go on a website, like, here's my ID, here's who I am. Who do we thank for this? Well, the groups fighting pornography, obviously, right? Like, thank you for creating this wonderful world. I personally have noticed that since these groups have started showing up, the number of sex abuses in the United Kingdom has risen rather than lowered for some mysterious reason. But it is what it is, right? Again, these groups are not there in order to actually accomplish something. They are there to tackle petty shit, to grift. So you cannot tackle them ideologically. You cannot like go to them and say, like what you're doing is wrong. 'Cause they don't give a shit. They know. Either that or they're ideologically possessed. But the grift must go on. You can't really fight against them. You can't argue against them because if you argue against them, well, you're arguing in favor of exploitation. Even though, like, they're not actually going after the cartels, as I mentioned. They're going after, like, last time I heard them bitch about the new AI that came out on Grok. Like, that is the world problem that they have. And so politicians view it as an easy win because they go after the low-hanging fruit. Visa and Mastercard view it as a win because they help empower these credit card companies because now the credit card companies can use the concept of brand safety to crack down on literally anything they want. And the only thing that they are causing is ass hurt on the internet, like random developers that, in my opinion, like drone pornography or chatbots or whatever. It's the least harmful form of all, right? Like comparing it to a strip club, comparing it to a hooker on the street, comparing it to all the other forms of pornography that are generally harmful and genuinely exploit people, This one, in my opinion, is the least harmful. And the fact that you have Steam, which requires you to have a credit card to buy a video game, and then it's in your library, and a parent can always check to see what a kid has in their library, can always check to see where the money went from their credit card. Again, it's the most safe form imaginable, and that's what they're going after. Like, they're not going after, trying to figure out who the Bloods and the Crips in the United States are sex trafficking. Like, no, that's not their business. There's not money to be made. And again, like, they're working with right-wing organizations. There used to be an organization called Morality in Media. I think it was founded in the 60s. And again, like, the whole idea was to go against pornography, like the same crusade, the same grift, until, like, people got so fed up with them that they created the woke culture. Like, the social justice activists didn't pop from the ether. They didn't just materialize all of a sudden. Like, they were absolutely sick of the fun police. Like, the mentality, the ideology of the boomers, the values of the boomers, like, literally all of that got the young generation to be disgusted. And so they did literally opposite of what their parents did out of spite. And then you end up with the social justice movement. And here is when the morality in media are realizing that they're now being treated as a joke, that no one gives a shit about their morality anymore. They changed their branding, and now is the National Center of Sexual Exploitation, right? So now they have a sanitized corporate leftist name. Again, it's the same thing. Now it's not about religion. Now it's about public health. Because the grift has to go on, right? Like, they don't give a shit. It's not out of principles. Like, if you're a religious person and you believe in Jesus, well, fuck it. Whatever the culture is, like, Jesus will light the path, right? Like, even if the world has turned to leftist shit, if your cause is moral and just, well, God is with you. But no, that's not what they're doing. They're now like, oh, well, we're the National Center of Sexual Exploitation, NCOSE. Now, they're a right-wing group, and they allied with this collective cry from Australia, right? So, like, you have Australian feminists working with American right-wing fundamentalists that are grifters, and a grifter meets another grifter, and they see an easy grift, and this is what's happening. I'm pretty sure that the donations are rolling in right now. They see, okay, well, this medium is vulnerable, it's ripe for the taking, a lot of low-hanging fruits. Like, all we have to do is to keep the pressure. We get positive coverage in the media. People bitch about it on Twitter, and hopefully we get trending, right? And the money flows in. That's what's going on. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.